original Doom was really good because it was the first game that really kind of gave you a glimpse of what the future of gaming could be like.
We knew we wanted to take the Doom story, the original Doom story, and the Doom environment and sort of bring that into the future.
Well, the story in Doom takes place as if the first two never happened. The player is back on Mars, and the UAC is conducting some super secret teleportation technology. And, through some miscalculations and some arrogance, the UAC opens a portal to hell, and the demons invade. And it's your job to stop the demonic invasion and to stop Earth from being overrun by demons.
There's a lot of just the classic multiplayer first-person shooter action experience in there. The focus of the game absolutely has been on the single-player experience.
We wanted to really create this scary, intense, action-packed horror game.
We want to do something dark and scary and atmospheric. We wanted to have more of these elements in there. I don't know how much farther I can go.
I'm really proud of a lot of kind of the scary sequences that we've got in the game, because there's a few of them that people have come and said, that's just wrong. And not in a bad way, it's just that it really scared them or freaked them out, and I think that's really the best thing, is that we really have made a very frightening, deep, and scary game.
The new engine gave us the ability to create very moody, atmospheric environments. With the dynamic lights, you turn lights on and off, you have moving shadow. It really helps create a scary world. And then with the ultra-realistic looking textures and monsters, we could bring those original demons that people love so much from Doom back with just larger-than-life quality. It really was the perfect combination of awesome technology and a great universe to begin.
I actually think that our best visual effects are late in the game, where you get down towards the hell areas and you get some of the stuff that looks really, really spectacular, that has character on every pixel of the screen.
Given the pace of the industry and given its designs, I would say probably in the next year you'll see things that really begin to push the extreme high end of the engine, and we'll see even more exciting things from the Doom 3 technology.
Everyone should be really looking forward to getting the game out on the shelves, because the response should be just really phenomenal.
The new millennium is just around the corner, and id Software is going through some birthing pains.
Every project, but the last couple ones we had been considering, is it time to remake Doom with new technology and all that? At the end of Quake 3, we did have a little bit of an internal spat over where we were going with the next project. The only kind of foregone conclusion was that it was going to be single-player focused, because there was a good contingent in the company that wasn't happy with the Quake 3 kind of activity level of gameplay.
We wanted to really create this scary, intense, action-packed horror game, and everybody is much more afraid when they're alone.
But there was still debate over exactly what we were going to do, and it did come down to a point where we had a big forced issue about it, where I wasn't at all comfortable with the alternate project that was being pushed on there, and it wasn't clear that we could come up with a clear, unified company direction on something brand new. And every project, but the last couple ones we had been considering, is it time to remake Doom with new technology?
John, when he was doing research on what the next generation of technology from id was going to be, came to the conclusion that he was going to be able to realize sort of the vision that he had in his mind's eye when he came up with the original idea for Doom, in that we could use and leverage that technology to really create this intense action horror game and make a really scary version of Doom.
Originally, I was opposed to the idea. I was a bit concerned that the team that we had, which was a bit in transition, wasn't going to be able to really push Doom in a direction to sort of live up to the title.
So I just kind of made that the stand and said, now's the time. We can do some really radically better stuff with new technology now.
In hindsight, my opposition was absolutely wrong. The decision was great.
Bringing back Doom is an exceptional challenge.
We've got you, Darkstar. You are set for lockdown. Welcome back.
If there was a hall of fame in computer gaming, I can say with all the humility in the world that there's absolutely a place at the top, or certainly near it, for Doom and Doom 2. And, there's almost a reluctance to go back and mess with the formula, almost like, a Hall of Fame running back coming out of retirement is going to just sort of destroy his legacy.
Doing Doom 3 was a very tall order because Doom was such a mega successful game that we really had to evaluate what we wanted to do. What do our fans really want us to bring back from the original? And then what can we add to the new Doom 3 to make it, so much better?
You have a game that people it becomes a part of their life, and they spend so many hours playing with it, they almost develop some sense of a relationship with the game itself, that they have some ownership of it. And so they feel like that they almost have, some say in how the game ought to be taken going forward because, hey, look, I played this game for, 1,000 hours of my life.
People get obsessive with everything that comes out of id. People are obsessive about id. Id's games are great. One of the reasons people respect id is that id never turns its back on quality. Everything that comes out is going to be good.
People get so emotionally attached, and then they get afraid of, well, if it's not the exact game, or if it's not as good or better, if it's not their interpretation of what the next game ought to be like, and they get afraid that we're going to do something different with it. They don't want to see the next game come out because they just want to sort of freeze time and have Doom be the way it was when, they had all these great experiences in their life, and don't want to have anything to sort of spoil that memory. We definitely understand, people's emotional attachment to the properties because we feel it too, and at least as strong as they do.
On June 1st, 2000, work begins on making Doom 3 a worthy successor to the legendary franchise. It's the new millennium, and id Software is hard at work on Doom 3.
The first year of Doom, after I had laid down the very basic technology, I was always saying that there's kind of like a tripod of features and technology that's going to make Doom what it is. There's the unified lighting and shadowing. There's the more complex animation and scripting, which will show off that lighting and shadowing on there. And then there's the GUI surfaces, which add the extra level of interactivity to the game. And all of those really proved out correct.
The new engine, for Doom 3 it's really revolutionary in the fact that it gives us the power to really create just about anything that we can imagine.
Okay, there's a few things we need to take care of first.
And id pieces together the game's new storyline with the help of science fiction writer Matthew Costello.
We actually contracted a professional science fiction writer to help us with the story. That was a first for id.
He left you no choice, true, but this is the last time.
After we laid the basic story foundation down, we storyboarded all the action. That also was the first for id.
We knew we wanted to take the Doom story, the original Doom story, and the Doom environment, and sort of bring that into the future.
Amazing things will happen here soon. You just wait.
The story in Doom takes place as if the first two never happened. So it's very important that fans realize that this is not Doom 3, after Doom 2 Hell on Earth. This is Doom 3, whereas Doom and Doom 2 never happened.
And so we knew we had those elements to work with, like the UAC, a research facility, Martian landscape.
The player is back on Mars, and the UAC is conducting some super secret teleportation technology.
UAC scientists have made discoveries that will forever change human existence. Then something went terribly wrong.
Through some miscalculations and some arrogance, the UAC opens a portal to hell.
When we started thinking about what direction to go with that, we looked at different movies that we felt like that would portray those demonic elements, monster elements, the Martian landscape, the weapons that we felt we'd have, things like that.
We've really kind of taken a new approach on the old story. We've answered some questions like, where did the UAC come up with the technology? What's the demon's motivation? I mean, we've really expanded all of those aspects and made a really, engrossing story.
And some old enemies make a return, along with a few new surprises.
With the ultra-realistic looking textures and monsters, we could bring those original demons that people love so much from Doom back, with just larger-than-life quality.
There's quite a few little elements that popped up here and there in Doom 3. There's a number of textures, from little tech textures or some evil wall textures or satanic symbols and things like that.
The original Doom demons are very classic in themselves. We knew that we had to bring the great ones back, like the Cyber Demon and the Pinky Demon. We decided which ones we wanted to bring back, and then Kenneth Scott took those and started to draw the newer, updated versions in concept art.
The Imp character people will remember from the original Doom, the Cacodemon, which is that big, it's like a big strawberry in the original Doom. He's quite a bit more scary in Doom 3.
But besides bringing back some of the original classics, we actually came up with some new ones and some brand new, fresh demons that no one's ever seen before.
But gamers won't be facing these demons empty-handed.
All of the weapons from the original Doom are in Doom 3. And we've added a few new ones. It's a good feeling to bring up that Doom shotgun, bust open a door, and go into a room with demons. So I think fans of the original will definitely appreciate that.
In 2001, Doom is revealed to the public for the first time at Macworld in Tokyo. But the game makes an even bigger splash when id Software takes it to E3 in 2002.
The year that Doom 3 came out, people couldn't sit still. You would come out, you would tell people about what you would see, how real it looked, how it was maybe Shrek quality animation and graphics. And they'd look at you blank-faced because there's no way it could be real.
We had a 15-minute in-game kind of demo play, and we had seats, and it was real dark, and it really kind of made the fans realize that the game's scary, that the game has movie quality, that it's over-the-top action. It really helped kind of deliver the message that what Doom was. Everybody knew what the original Doom was, but then they never knew what direction that we were taking with Doom 3. And this gave us the opportunity to show that direction.
When it went out there and it just had this amazing reception on there, they're just sitting there sometimes with their mouth open, just going, this is incredible.
People didn't believe it was real. The E3 judges, they had to come up to us and say, okay, would you like to go try it? Or would you like to see us play it so we can prove to you that this is not a fake, this is a real thing?
We received great feedback. We won 5 awards that year at E3. It was a fantastic E3 for us.
But just as id Software returns from a triumphant E3 showing, the unthinkable happens. Not long after E3 2002 wraps up with a phenomenal showing for Doom, a leaked version of id's new project appears on the internet.
We would get mail from people saying, I played the demo and it had all these problems. Whatever, it's not a demo, it was a stolen, leaked executable.
The notorious sort of Doom 3 alpha wasn't really even an alpha at all. It was actually a build of the game that had been built up for E3 that I'm not exactly sure how it got out. People got a hold of that, and of course, it began to distribute over the internet.
We'd obviously prefer that something like that never happen, but it doesn't really hurt us that much. It's a distraction when we have to worry about running damage control and spinning some of the issues in there.
Today, we can look back on it, and as bad as it seemed at the time is that we've certainly been able to overcome.
But I don't think that there's going to be anybody that got a hold of that for some reason that won't buy the game because they saw that. It's obviously too far away, too much has changed since then.
id forges ahead, making advances in a new area.
Audio in our games has always been, clearly second fiddle to rendering. But as computers have gotten faster and faster, that couple percent that we devote to audio has gotten more and more capable.
One thing that we've done in Doom 3 that's very cool is we have a true 6-channel surround sound. And that gives us the ability to have sound and audio cues that happen around the player. So, like, for instance, if a demon is sneaking up behind you, you can hear them. You're walking through a dark corridor and you'll hear whispers that circle you. It really kind of gets the player into the game because they're like in a wave of sound.
And Chris Brenna, the former drummer for Nine Inch Nails, is brought in to lend his talent to the music in Doom 3.
In Doom 3, the music is a little bit different than what we've done in previous titles. Usually, what we had is like a soundtrack that looped throughout the entire level or area that you're in. But in Doom 3, what we try to do is kind of make the world around you almost musical in its ambient sense. It's all kind of very, very different, very fluid, very changing and unique.
id's new game is also being developed for the Xbox.
The original core rendering decisions for Doom were influenced very specifically by the capabilities of the Xbox. We knew at the time what the Xbox was going to be like coming out, and the rendering of what we do with geometry and surfaces and textures and all that was crafted around something that was going to be efficient on the Xbox.
One of the great things about the Xbox is the technology in the Xbox is very similar to the technology that John looked at when he architected the engine. So all the features that you see in the PC version will be in the Xbox version. The dynamic lights, the physics, the bump mapping. Now, of course, there will be things that are different, but I believe that people that don't have a PC that have an Xbox will still be able to enjoy what the PC people will be raving about.
Doom 3 is shown again at E3 in 2003 and 2004. Each time it appears, attendees are awed. Work on the game begins to wrap up.
I'm sure it's going to be a huge release when everything gets out here, but everyone should be really looking forward to getting the game out on the shelves because the response should be just really phenomenal.
Every gamer on the planet right now wants to get their hands on Doom 3.
What I've been most proud of in Doom is the way that the technologies all kind of come together and really provided a seamless experience, whether you're playing the game, searching, fighting the monsters, or interacting with the GUIs. It's all come together to be a very nice kind of seamless package for the player.
The thing that makes me the happiest is when people come to id, they play the game and they say, you know what, that was great. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
And before Doom 3 is even out the door, the team at id is already looking to the future.
We have decided we're not going to go back and do a Doom 4 or another Quake game, which is, Quake 4 is already in development at Raven, and Return to Castle Wolfenstein, basically the sequel to that, is a project that's already in the works in another studio as well. So our job will be making something new, and we've decided we're going to do a new IP, a new brand for id.
After any project, I've usually got a pretty big list of technologies to explore. There's other just wild research ideas that I'm going to be pursuing on there.
The next project is actually already in the works. We have some rough ideas. We started on some very simple concept art. We are a small team. We make games to stay in business, and that's what we need to do. So we will start on the next title relatively quickly.
I think 20 years from now, we're going to look back at id as being a fundamental source for all that is great about interactive entertainment, and that there's going to be no way that there's not an id chapter when they get around to writing the history of interactive entertainment.